Yes, sir. A very good morning to each and everyone present here for this online webinar on Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam, which is all about remaining skillful in all our actions to reap maximum success. To this webinar, a word of welcome to CEO of Soundarya Educational Trust, Mr. Kirtan Kumar sir, Principal, Mrs. Renuka Devi, academic coordinators, faculty members, and my dear students. A hearty welcome to the entire parent community too. A very warm welcome to the speaker of the day, Mr. Yogesh N R. And here goes his list of achievements. Mr. Yogesh scripted and directed a state level documentary on Varakavi Dr. Dhara Bendre poetic composition, Nakutanti, staged at Ravindra Kalakshetra in the year 1999. He presented live commentaries of Sri Venkateshwara Swami Brahmotsavam held at Tirumala, telecasted by Doordarshan Kendra, Bangalore since 2002. He compiled and published a Sanskrita basic grammar textbook, Bhasha Bodha for beginners in March 2003. He served as an associate director to Sri G.V. Iyer in the making of Sanskrita telefilm Kadambari during 2003. Through a series of audio-video telecasts, he is involved in creating an awareness and understanding of our epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Holy Script Bhagavad Gita. He has been serving in the field of education for 23 years. He is proactively involved in teaching Sanskrita to students and prepared subject content for class 8 to 12th pertaining to state, CBSE, ICSE, including pre-university courses. So once again, I welcome Mr. Yogesh N R. Now over to you, Yogesh sir.
Thank you very much, Anupama Madam, and everyone at Soundarya Central School and group of institutions. Hope my voice is loud and clear to all of you. Any adjustments to be made? Guru Prasad sir, is it fine? Yeah, fine. Thank you. So once again, I am very elated, very excited also to some extent today to meet you all through this webinar. The theme, as rightly put up by Anupama ma'am, is Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam. Probably everyone would have heard this at least once in their lifetime as of now. And if you are a little bit of philosophically bent of mind or thinking about something very great of achievement and success wise, you would have heard this many times. The best part is the great land of India has the roots and the motto of organizations which has a tagline taken from our Vedas, Upanishads. It has taken from various texts like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, and all such great epics, history. So one of the famous statements is Yogaha Karmasu Kaushala. We have a heterogeneous group here. I'm very happy to know that. The students are one of the most important point of this heterogeneous group here, apart from the parents and well-wishers and all the faculty of Soundarya group of institutions, including the heads and all the management over there. So once again, I would just like to begin with a small interactive session. We have a lot of stories to also go ahead in this program, which will be enjoyable for one and all, not just the kids, for everyone. Lots to learn. So I would just like one particular question. Can anyone from the student group just tell me where exactly would you find this Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam? Is it in the Ramayana? Is it in the Mahabharata or Bhagavata? Or is it in one of the Vedic and Upanishadic texts? Where exactly do you come across Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam? Can anyone just give me a solution or answer to this? Anyone? I don't mind even if it's from parents or anyone. Let's make this interactive. It's not that only I know, you don't know. It is just an interaction. That itself is the main thing, the skill. Can you get an answer? A guesswork at least. Anyone can guess? But you are there. Okay, I get a chat. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I get a chat message over here. Well, apart from, yeah, thank you. Oh yes, Shreyas is weak. Bhagavad Gita. That's a correct answer. Very very perfect answer. And probably most of you already know this. And where exactly in Bhagavad Gita do we get this? So apart from stories, I just have to share a few beautiful slides with you. I'll just go ahead with that. I'll just share a few slides with you.
Guru sir. Sure, sir. I'll get back. Yogi sir will join back in few seconds.
Okay, welcome back. Sorry for the glitch. The technical issues as usual. I hope I'm clear this time. Anupama ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So we were just discussing about that Bhagavad Gita line, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. I was about to share the screen with you. The shloka comes in second chapter. So by this time, I think most of you would have already got the shloka in your mind. Would I have any volunteer to tell me the shloka? Yeah, now I think it should be visible on the screen. The very first one. Can you all see the screen? Right? Anupama ma'am, is the screen visible? Guru Prasad sir? Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, as you can all see, it is in the Dvitiyodhyaya, the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and it is in the Sankhya Yoga. The second chapter is a Sankhya Yoga. It is known as Sankhya Yoga. And the entire shloka sums up today's theme. The theme being, skill in all actions is success guaranteed. Every one of us need this greatest weapon, I should say missile, of this skill. And this is where we get the shloka. It's the 50th shloka in this Gita. Buddhi yukto jahatiha te tasmat yogaya yujyasva yogaha karmasu kaushala. This is where we get the beautiful line. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrita yoho. Sukrita is all the good actions, the noble deeds what we do. Opposite of that is dushkrita, the evil or some sins or whatever bad that happens. It is very common for both of these to happen in our lives. Sukritas are also there, dushkritas are also there. But a buddhi yukta, a very sensible person, it's not intelligent, a person having common sense, that is buddhi yukta. A sensible person, a person with common sense, what does he or she do? Sukrita dushkrite ubhe jahati iha. Whatever good or bad happens to that person, whatever uh, indecent uh, thoughts comes to the mind, apart from the good ones, they'll be very, very sensible that the minute those indecent, unwanted thoughts comes in, jahati, they start discarding it. Similarly, in actions, they do all good actions, no doubt, but the results sometimes vary. It is out of our control. Many times, unknown things or unforeseen things happen to us. Few minutes ago, everything was fine. All of a sudden, the screen blanked out and no connection at all. So, in spite of preparation, we face all these things. Can we panic? Can we start? Oh my God, what happened? What to do next? Nothing. We can't do what is to be needed. So, when do you give this thought process to do what is to be done? When you are capable of handling situations in a calm, serene manner. That comes by taking both the good and bad, balancing it equally, staying calm and doing the needful. That is buddhi yukta. A person having that common sense. Dear students, parents, and everyone here, my guru used to always tell me, and even now he tells me this again and again, we can all survive beautifully in this world with just our common sense working. Our common sense should work. We should be having common sense at all times. And even if you're not quite intelligent, even if we don't go to that level of intelligence, which we already have, the basic intelligence is common sense, we can still very beautifully live. And that is buddhi yukta, the status of buddhi yukta. To do, to know what to do and when to do and how to do. So that's a beautiful concept of buddhi yukta, what Krishna is telling Arjuna. So such a person doesn't take it to the heart that, oh, this is very fine, it will be permanent. Oh, this has gone down, this is also permanent. He just keeps it at the time and does what is to be done. And when Arjuna was in this dilemma, what was the dilemma of Arjuna? What was the dilemma of Arjuna? Yes, the fight. Why should I fight? That to my own people. Fighting an enemy, yes, it's okay. We all understand. My own grandfathers, my own forefathers, cousins, brothers, we have to fight and kill each other. Why to do this? It's better to beg than kill them. That was his idea. So when he asked Krishna to place him in between the exact armies which are about to fight, in the middle, so that he can see both. Ratham sthapaya me achyuta senayor ubayor madhye senayoho. Ratham sthapaya, put my chariot in the middle so that I can see both the teams, mine and the opposite. I'll decide what is the strategy. I'll plan out the strategy. That is buddhi. That is a sensible thing. We need to know. See, we need to understand the question paper first, format of the question paper, then we can plan out an action. Then we can plan out our results. So therefore, he says that I want to see with whom I'm fighting. And then instantly, after seeing Bhishma, Drona, Karna, there's a beautiful list in the Paramatmaya. All are mine. I have to kill them. No. Vikshatana is enough than killing them and going for ruling a kingdom where there are no my people at all. So when he's in that dilemma, that is a position where he goes down, loses his common sense. The buddhi has gone down there. It's temporary. And then the statement comes, Krishna says, Tasmat, therefore, understand one thing, Arjuna, we are all destined to be under the time frame. Within the time frame, it controls us. Some energy controls us. But just because an energy controls us, time controls us, it is not that I will not do anything. Let it happen, whatever happens. If good wants to happen, let it happen. If bad wants to happen, let it happen. No. You are the one, tasmat, therefore, without just leaving it to fate or time, yogaya yujyasva. For the sake of getting or attaining the status of yoga, yujyasva. Get into action, not just the hard work, the skillful action. And you know what is yoga? It is not just going with asanas of the physical body, not just sitting straight in postures and hand and leg movement. No. That is one basic part. The physical yoga is a very basic part, but the real yoga is this. What is that? Then we get the statement Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam. This is the actual statement which comes at the end of this sloka. What we are more concentrated on today's topic. Yogaya Yujyasva. Arjuna, you are doomed that you have to kill, massacre your own people. I understand. Now that happens to a normal individual, not for a buddhi yukta. A buddhi yukta, a person with common sense, will always have this in the heart. What is this? Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. In whatever, karma is a very popular word. Action. Karma is action. All our duties, all our work. Karmasu, it is a saptami bahuvachana. In all actions, in whatever we do, if you put this one most important ingredient, which is kaushala, excellent word. The word is, in simple words, in simple English word, the meaning of kaushala is skill. But when you develop that, the higher level of skill is proficiency, as you can see. Kaushala is proficiency, a higher level of skill. A more the higher or the highest form of skill is proficiency. We'll come to that later in a few minutes. So this proficiency in all actions, at most, the expertise of skill in all actions is yoga, diligence. Diligence is, as I said, it is not just physical, but more importantly, the mental capacity, the intelligence, the intellect. You feel really very happy. Many times we say, on a hot summer morning, we were sweating in spite of fans and ACs. We still start sweating somehow, and the weather is too humid. What happens if all of a sudden there's a cool breeze, there's a bit of cloudy situation, and it starts to rain? Last week we had that experience also. The first few drops of rain in the hot summer afternoon, somewhere we feel that all of a sudden we are transported to a new lease of life, a new experience, which is enjoyable. And that status of happiness is bringing both our mind and body into a separate level of enjoyment or comfort. And that could be got in all our actions, provided if we have yoga. And that diligence is what going to make. As you can see, two pictures over there. One is, as usual, our Arjuna, and to my left, you can see in the screen, you can see Arjuna in this first stage, standing, just submitting himself before Krishna and saying, "No, I can't do this. Leave me alone." He's praying to Krishna, "Just leave me alone. I can't kill these people. They are all mine. I don't want to be a king. I don't want anything. I just go and live my life happily." It may seem very beautiful. Oh, what a great person Arjuna is. Krishna says. I mean, in the whole of Bhagavad Gita, the minute we read the Arjuna's question, we feel this, wow, what a great question of Arjuna. Probably Krishna does not have an answer to this. But the minute Krishna starts answering and gives an answer, we really will have, correct. How foolish was Arjuna in asking that? We are all Arjunas only, in one way or the other. So from that stage of something, I can't do this work, please leave me. Many of us feel this at all times. No, this is not for me. Just leave me alone. I know it is a very good job. It's a very fine action, but I can't do this. Please excuse me. I am not for this. This is not my cup of tea. All these things like Arjuna, we hold our hands and we go down. Please leave me alone. From this stage, to the right side of the picture, in the frame, you see action happen. Arjuna is already into action. Through the direction of Krishna, in the same direction pointed by Krishna, Arjuna is shooting an arrow. We know the results. So from this point of irrelevance to the utmost relevance, what was this which has brought him? What brought him to this massive changeover? And how did this occur? That is the reason I've given these two pictures. From this left side to the right side, from left to the right, the movement from left to the right happens with this beautiful golden words highlighted in the golden color, Yogah, Karmasu, Kaushalam. Every one of us will be successful. Every one of us will not be just happy, but will be very, very comfortable. And many young students over there, when every time your father, mother, people, elders at home, and of course teachers at school pressurize you to work upon something, whether it is a mathematical problem or a science concept, something or different, learning a different language. In the beginning, all of you will face trouble. All of us do that. All of us have undergone that. But you should not stop there. How can a small language defeat you? How can a concept in mathematics defeat you? How can a small concept of science defeat you? Enjoy that. And that process you will learn. That is yoga. The students, I tell all the age group of probably all of you, one thing, giving the example of a horse, a Tonga horse and a race horse. We all have seen the race course over here, like ending up the bridge over in the Gandhinagar area, the district area, probably. And if there's a race going on, we see that. The series, the row of horse at the gunshot or bell shot, they start zooming up. 10-15 minutes they run, depending upon the race, and the race is over. And at the end of the race, the horse is pampered even before and more after. And if there's a winning horse, the winning horse, it gets everything in the world of whatever it is required, what we as humans don't get. It earns crores in that 15 minutes run. Whereas its counterpart, again a horse, nowadays in Bangalore, we don't find the Tonga horse, which was used as a mode of transport before auto rickshaws and others. In Mysuru and others, we find few carts running up here. And if you have visited Mumbai, in the gateway of India, in front of that, there is something called a Victoria ride, the horse ride. So like that, all those are joy rides. But basically, we had the horse used for tied to a Tonga, a big two-wheel cart, where people used to travel just like what we do in auto rickshaws and city cabs today. So at that time, the horseman used to whip the horse, and from day on, morning sunrise to sunset, and even after sunset, during towards the night, the horse had to run everywhere in the heat, probably in the rain, in the cold, everywhere. And every time he used to beat the horse, whip, he used to whip it, lash it. And how much does it get to eat? Hardly one hairful, a tuft of dry grass. But The treatment given to a racehorse, it runs for 15 minutes, but it gets all the duty. And the Tonga horse runs for the whole day and even after sunset, but gets hardly a food. Its stomach is never full. Its life is very miserable. So when both of them met, probably they asked, "How is it? You are a horse, I am a horse. Why is the difference?" Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam. I too run, but I run skillfully at the right place at the right time. You just run. Now see, the Tonga horse is a very hard-working animal. Very, very hard-working. Very noble. Does it mean that the racehorse is not a hard-working one? It is even more working hard, but there's something which is lacking in the Tonga horse, which is the skill, proficiency. It knows where it is running, why it is running, how it has to run, and what it has to achieve. If we are able to analyze this, my dear students, we are the winners, and that is how success is guaranteed by skill. When anything is told, how best I can do this? What would be the best possible way and the most easiest way? See, always the best possible way is the easiest way. You switch on the direction, you go to Google Maps, switch on the direction, enter the location, point A, point B, your location, and going wherever you are going, the destination. It shows you instantly a blue line is shown from point A to point B. And if you have observed, 2 or 3 gray lines are also shown, which are not highlighted. What does it mean? Google Map always shows us the shortest, quickest, easiest way. It also marks with red and others if there is a traffic. So that is what is to be, that is what is called Kaushalam. It also gives us an option of the longer routes. If you want to take, you take. But this is the shortest. Therefore, it doesn't mean that you have to always take a shortcut. And we also have heard that it is not true. It is very true that shortcuts will not lead to success. It is not to be misunderstood. Now, what do we mean by a shortcut here is the skillful work. See, lifting a bag or lifting a weight from point A to point B, you can carry your bags, school bags. There are many ways. Each and everyone carries in her or his own way. Some people have the strap only on one shoulder, some people on the left, some people on the right, some people wear it on the both shoulders. And most importantly, the bag, those who wear it on both the shoulders, the straps on both the shoulders, you can see the bag sometimes lags till the back. Sometimes it is exactly towards the shoulder. So all these are simple physics. The weight gets distributed by the way we carry that. That is Kaushala. Everyone carries a school bag. Everyone carries weight, lunch, but the way you carry matters, whether you are a Tonga horse or a race horse. That is what Krishna is trying to tell. Diligence is proficiency in all actions. For those who are still not able to get the word, diligence means very great skill. There are various levels of skill, we'll come to that. It's a very great skill, expertise in skill, the proficiency. And that proficiency, the skill, expertise in skill leads to yoga or diligence. Anything which gives you happiness is yoga. In the street corner, if you see an old man stitching or mending the shoes and chappals and slippers, he's contented. He has food, water for the day. He sits under a shade of a tree, or sometimes nowadays they have this box type sheds and others. They're happy over there. So any person having the contentment by doing the duty, that is yoga. And Mahabharata has plenty of such stories. Krishna tells that concept in a formula type in 770 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, which makes Arjuna from leaving everything, from dereliction of duty to the right side where he's ready. Sthitosmi gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. That's the last statement in Gita when Arjuna is ready. Thank you, Krishna. I now understand what is skill, what is diligence. I don't have any confusions. Nashto mohaha smritihi labda. I got my conscious back, smriti. I am now ready. Mohaha nashtaha. This doubts, all what was shrouded in darkness in my mind is nashta, gone. Smritihi labda. I now got what is to be done. Sthitosmi gata sandeha. I now stand confidently, without any doubt. I know what to do. Lead me, show me the way. Yes, this is the way, says Krishna. Shoot the arrow, that is your duty. So Arjuna is again shooting. So what is this transition? Yogah, Karmasu, Kaushalam. In between, in all the great statements, how the characters of Mahabharata is being devised by Bhagavan Vedavyas. Excellently devised. We are just, since the lack of time, I'm just concentrating on Mahabharata concepts today to prove this. There are various ways and number of infinite ways of understanding this. Now, this Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam, what Kaushalya or proficiency we are talking about, it is, why is it needed? To enhance us, our development, to bring us success at any cost. And therefore, who are those characters and how have they achieved this? And how have they understood this culture? So for that, we have one more slide over here. Then just go through this slide here. Now, the skill, proficiency, can be basically defined as having an expertise or utmost skill, being very skilled, knowledgeable in not just one, it can be in one subject. Many people, according to their capacities, have many subjects also. So that is called proficiency. An expert in all. Now we have a statement, jack of all, master of none. No, that is not the one what we are talking about. Jack of all, master of all, or at least master of one. It's not very easy for everyone to do everything in life. Therefore, proficiency is defined as having the expertise in whatever we do, the skill in whatever we do. Just like the racehorse, which has the skill of running at the right time, at the fastest time, and reaching the goal without any distraction. Tonga horse does a very hard work, gets beating others. So there is no common gain there. It is forced, go this way, go right, go left, go straight. So this is, but the racehorse knows direction. The jockey is there. So that is the knowledge what it has very skillfully, it doesn't divert, and that is what is proficiency. And if you have that concentration and proficiency, what does it mean? It implies, it means a thorough skill, a thorough competency, very great skill or expertise in this proficiency. In
So sorry,
work.
very sorry to interrupt, sir. I think so. You have to move the slides.
No, I'm talking about the proficiency one. It's
third slide. One. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Being proficient implies a thorough competency derived from training and practice. Correct? This is the second point. The arrow mark is it there? Is it seen, Anupama ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have to move the slides. I feel the first slide is seen.
I have moved here. It's showing your screen is sharing.
Guru sir, slide. Kindly help.
In my screen, it is in the right slide. The output slide, I don't know. Can Guru sir please help? I'm talking about the third step, proficiency. See, this was the second one, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. Is it changing, Annapurna? Anupama?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, it's changing over here. So, Guru sir, anything to be done? Okay, right. I think now the proficiency slide is shown. I'll just move it once again. Please check whether it is. Do we have it? Level 1, basic proficiency.
Right, sir. We are able to see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, guys are able to. Okay. So I'm talking about this. So what does it mean to be proficient? It means a thorough competence derived from training and practice. We need to train ourselves for this. The training is very much required. It doesn't come from within. It is there within all of us, but somewhere somebody has to give it a drive. For Arjuna also it was there. Krishna had to drive it. And through Arjuna, he has driven it in all of this. And therefore, a proficiency-based system, maybe an education system or an organization system or an institution, a small family, a village, a town, a district, state, or nation, every system benefits with this kind of skill if we have. Everyone progresses in their own way. Everyone have their skills at their own time. And when it is pooled, when it comes together, then we have the proficiency, the skill which works out. And basic levels are, I've moved the slide, I think it's visible. Is a level 1 of proficiency, see, basic proficiency. Slides moving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, what is this first skill, first level of Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam? You have a common knowledge, you have a common understanding, you know what it is. You also know the basic techniques of doing a job, how to work, everything, like the horse, Tonga horse. It knows how to run, it knows how to move. All these are very basic, it knows. And it is aware that it has to keep running, it has to keep moving and follow the instruction, otherwise it will get a beating. It will get only very few hay, or it doesn't even get that. So all these, the Tonga horse is aware. But still, because of various reasons, it is unable to perform the task properly. It is unable. It cannot run like a racehorse because what is lacking there? What is lacking? Yeah. What is missing? Kaushalya is missing. Yes, this Kaushalya is missing. The Kaushalya or the proficiency is missing. Now, I'll prove this point with a beautiful short story from Mahabharata. Can anyone identify this character? Can anyone identify this character? What I'm showing? Who is this character? You can unmute and answer if anybody. Yeah.
Barbarica.
Oh, that's super. May I know the person? Yes, that's very nice.
Surya.
Okay, fine. Surya. Thank you. Thank you very much, Surya. Barbarica. You can see these 3 arrows and a warrior shooting it. It's the best example for the basic skill. So this character, Barbarica, was the son of another great character, Ghatotkacha, was son of Bhimasena. So basically, he's a grandson of Bhimasena. Very powerful warrior. He had his guru bless him with 3 arrows, as you can see. 3 special arrows, not an ordinary arrow. The special skill he had means we all have a skill given to us by our teachers, elders, parents. We all have it. Just like Barbarica had these 3. So what was the importance of these 3 arrows? If he shot 1 arrow first, it would go and mark all the enemies in the war field. When he shoots the second arrow, it would mark all the people who are on his side, the people who have to be saved. And when the third arrow was shot, it would go and destroy all the people who were marked by the first arrow, enemies. The others would be saved. All enemies, wherever they were, however they were, the third arrow is to shoot. This was a very powerful way in which probably there would be no Mahabharata war for 18 days at all. First day, first show, first shot, over, if Barbarica was there. And Barbarica wanted to take part in the war also. He had this great skill given to him by his guru and others. But what happened? Barbarica was warned and was given a clause by his teacher that he could wage war using these arrows, but there was a condition. Every skill comes with a condition. And what is the condition? You will use these from the team or from the battle army, which is weaker. You have to join the weaker side, not the stronger side. So in a battle, in a war, you have to be on the weaker side. Then you can wage war. You can use these 3 arrows. So this was the statement. And Barbarica, see, we have the skill, but we have not understood the complexities completely. We just know it. He was very happy. Yeah, I will do that. He got that. But when he tried to enter the war field, there was a very big problem, very big dilemma. This is what happens when we don't have the Kaushalya to understand and adapt what we have. However, we may have 100 ladders. You don't know how to incline a ladder onto the wall and climb it. You cannot just put a heap of, just like you put stones, you cannot heap and start climbing. Therefore, Barbarica's concept was like that. He has powerful arrows. He has to join the weaker side of the waging teams, war waging teams. It didn't seem at all a problem, but there was a very big problem. Krishna again comes and tells that when he wants to join there were 18 Akshohinis of Sainya army waging war against each other. Out of this 18, 11 belonged to Duryodhana's team, Kauravas. 11 Akshohinis. 7 Akshohinis were of Pandavas. So with this number, Barbarica thought that I am the grandson of Bhima. So I obviously belong to Pandava's side. So I will go to them, and moreover, they are weaker also. Only 7 Akshohinis are. So he says, I'm going to fight and I'll complete it in 1 minute. But Krishna says, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Now see, you come to our team because we have only 7 actual enemies. The minute you come with these powerful arrows, our entire team becomes very strong. Kaurava's team becomes very weak. So what is the rule and order by your guru that you have to join the weaker? So you have to go to Kaurava's side. Again, there is a very big problem. How can you go there? If you still go there, they are 11, then you become even more stronger. So we are the weaker, you have to come here. Now, Barbarika was the first time understood having skill is not enough. It is a very basic one. There should be something else trained to that. So basic level of skill, basic your Kaushala is not going to work. And how to solve this? It doesn't know. Having basic without developing the skill is of no use, Barbarika, just like your arrows. In whichever team you go, that team suffers. Then how shall I see the war? How shall I be useful? You actually cannot take part. You cannot take part because of this clause. If you really want to see, then probably I can manage that your head can be placed on an arrow and you can go through both the teams, but you cannot literally take place and you will not be a part of war. Because of the same reason that you have the skills with you, beautiful skills, but of no use because it is interlocked. You are unable to decode that. So we should not be, first is to have skills and analyze, which we have. It should not be at the basic level. We should be proficient in understanding our skill and further going. So it should not be like the Barbarika's arrows. Later his head was put on the arrow, as I said, and he could only see that, he couldn't take part. The skill should be of some kind of a use. You have to prepare to use it. Just having, it's not enough. With this, the next point comes in. Then apart from the basic skill, after that, what is it, how to develop? What is the second stage of Kaushala? What is the second way in which we have to understand the levels of proficiency? The second level is novice or a limited proficiency. It is better than the previous one. You have the level of experience gained in a classroom. You have heard the teachers very well. It can be a situation also, and any experimental scenarios. Or if you're in job, you are a trainee in a job, and you have been observed for 6 months or 1 year, how to look at the job, and you are expected to do various things skillfully. You are good at it. But when you start doing it, you are not like Barbarika. You are not taken out of the team. You are there in the team because of the good skill, but it is very limited. Means what? You cannot do everything by you. All the work, skillful work cannot be done by you. If your level of proficiency is just limited, you will be able to understand, you will be discussing terminologies, concepts, you have known the issues, how to do the work, you know the understanding of machinery, everything. You know that you have to work very fine. But utilizing this will be a problem. You know that it is a very good subject. Oh, physics you like, mathematics you like, biology you like, languages you like. But see, you like poetry, you like theater, dramas, skits. Excellent. So you have the skill also, but it is very limited. You have taken part in small mono-acting, you have taken part in smaller theater. Very fine. You have the skill. But exactly, you don't know how to put in through it, how to bring about the real emotion. Just telling the dialogue, no, it won't work. Similarly, experiments. You are very much interested in science. You go to the physics or chemistry labs. You work with various apparatus with the help of. But you need help there. The teacher should be there. There should be a guide. You should know how to mix and play with chemicals. Many of them or most of them are all very dangerous. So we need to understand their properties. So we need a guru there. And that guru will keep us and raise us. See, from basic, the guru raises the level from level 2. Again, you cannot stop at level 2 because you have to still increase this further and further. Otherwise, you cannot expect to have a person like a teacher or a guide always with you. In the examination hall, 3 hours, a test for 1 hour, you cannot have the teacher next to you. It is you who have to do it. So if you are only raising the skill to second level, the Kaushala is up to the limited proficiency. It is also of no use. So again, you have to go one step ahead. And who is the example for that? Ashwathama. Ashwathama is a very fine character. Son of Dronacharya. Very beautifully he was there. Now there's a very small episode in the beginning itself, and Ashwathama was quite young. He was a child, just like Pandavas and Kauravas. He was also being taught by his father, Dronacharya. So everybody used to go at short break and lunch break to have some snacks, etc. And they used to drink milk. Most of the friends, they would go and drink milk and come back and read in the classroom sessions and others. They would learn. So even Ashwatthama would go to the hermitage, Drona's hermitage, and have milk. But it so happened that Duryodhana once thought, hey, Ashwatthama, come here. We go to the palace and we are the sons of kings and we are princes and we get milk, no problem. But what do you drink actually? Ashwatthama very clear. I also drink milk like you. No, for drinking milk, you need to have cow. Many, at least one. But you don't have a cow at home. How will you get milk? I said, I don't know, but my mother also gives me milk. What is the color of the milk? White. Okay. Then do one thing. Duryodhana says, you please come to my palace tomorrow in the short break. You will go. I will give you the milk once you drink the milk from my place. Rama said, okay. Now, he had the knowledge. He understood that he was given milk every day. So the next day, in the short break, when Dronacharya was quite busy elsewhere, he could not give attention to Ashwatthama at that time. Ashwatthama just casually came with Duryodhana, and Duryodhana offered him the milk, and Ashwatthama drank it. All of a sudden, he was stunned. What is this? This is not milk. This is something like Amrita. Oh, this is Amrita. What is there in the Devaloka? What was from the Ksheerasagara? This is Amrita, is it? Then Duryodhana said, no, Ashwatthama, this is milk. It's taken from the cow, the beautiful cow, milk from the cow, and few things like the beautiful sugar, honey, badam, pistas, kesar. Everything is added to make it, to enhance its flavor. And this is the actual milk what we all drink, and this is called milk. I was surprised. This is milk. Okay, then he drank, he enjoyed, he came back, he never told anything. Next day, when his mother, Dronacharya was his father, his mother was Kripi, a great lady, sister of Kripacharya, Kripi, who had married Dronacharya. So Kripi, the mother of Ashwatthama, gives him milk once again. You know, students, what Ashwatthama does? Reasons. Literally says, you are wrong, mother. You have cheated me. You have not given me the milk properly. All these days, I don't know what you are giving. Because I have drunk the milk properly. Now, Dronacharya heard this and he came running. What did you say, Ashwatthama? Yeah, I have drunk what is real milk. What you offer me is probably some rice flour in water or something, but this is not milk. You have been cheating. I have drunk. No, Dronacharya said, oh, okay, fine. Who gave you the milk? He was more concerned. Who gave you that milk? How did you get this actual knowledge of milk? He said, Duryodhana gave me the milk. Dronacharya said, Ashwatthama, you are dead today. You should have got this knowledge of milk somehow from Pandavas or somehow from other sources than Duryodhana. This one glass of milk of Duryodhana will teach you certain skills got from Duryodhana. From now onwards, somewhere your inclination towards Duryodhana will be more than to Dharmaraja. Instead of Dharma, you will go towards Adharma. And that's what happened. Now see how having skill is not a big deal. Where do we get that skill from and how do we develop it? Who is giving us the proficiency? So from level 2, you have to enhance the skill. You should go with a good guru. A noble person should teach you that. Otherwise, see, all terrorists are very intelligent. They are all very skilled. They know how to make bombs with whatever they get. Do we call it as real intelligence? Do we applaud that? Do we like that? They are more brilliant than many of the scientists. They should have used that brilliance in the field of science for the benefit of others. Then it would have been a good skill. Prathama, no doubt you have got a skill of knowing things. This was a statement made by Dronacharya. So, from level 2 to level 3, from intermediate to an advanced stage, we should be very careful that our yoga or the Karmasu Kaushala should be from a proper source and in a proper manner. And that will take us to the next level, the third level, which is an intermediate proficiency. It's not very low nor very high. It's intermediate. Means what? You'll be able to successfully complete all the tasks with that skill in you. You'll be in already. You'll take some help from the experts also, which may be required from time to time to do that work. to complete the experiments, to complete that work in a beautiful way. And when you are given a chance to all fail. See, you know how to ride a bike, you know how to drive a LNB, a car, you have learned it. Yes, but there should be a person sitting next to you to control that. There should be a person sitting behind you on the two-wheeler to teach you how to drive. Otherwise, you will not have confidence. Now, this is the intermediate proficiency. Not that you don't know how to drive, but you don't know how to drive completely on your own. So you have applied this skill to various situations. You have applied it in your work, but we need minimal guidance to complete it successfully. Now, this stage is the third stage of yoga of Karmasu Kaushala, which is the intermediate Kaushala, intermediate proficiency. And I will once again give you the best example for this. Yes, none other than Karna, Surya Putra Karna. Karna's skills unmatched, Karna's heroism unmatched, Karna's character unblemished, Karna's overall holistic approach to life beautiful. But at the end, all his skills and all his power and everything put together, he was just an intermediate achiever. And furthermore, most of us, we consider that Karna was an unfortunate hero. Right from birth till his death, he was unfortunate. All his skills, he had everything, but he didn't become an expert, or he didn't die just as a somebody. He has made a mark, very beautiful mark, but it stood in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Is Karna a hero? Yeah, he's definitely a hero. Is Karna as great as Krishna? Oh, no, no, no. Is Karna very hopeless or is of no use? No, no, even that. Somewhere it is intermediate, in between. Now, this is what happened. When Karna was asked for Kavacha and Kundala, he very well knew that he is going to die. But still he gave that, which makes him very great. Because he thought that I have better skills than just an armor and earring which can save my life. That was very good. But when he was in the battlefield, when the chariot wheel was stuck in the mud, at that time he needed an assistance. He had to have his charioteer at that time. At that time he did not have a charioteer. He had to get down and he had to do it. Why? He had lost his charioteer, a very great warrior, another than Shalya, with whose directions he did not heed to. Many times people in a very basic level teaches great things. A child teaches us a very great moral. We should be able to see that and analyze that. Otherwise, we will all be doomed. Karna didn't do that. He had a lot of skills, got to given by Parashurama, but he didn't use it properly. That is why also he got a curse from the Guru. Even though it appears that he did not want to disturb the sleep of Parashurama while Parashurama's head was on his lap, Vajrakita, a very strong kind of insect, started eating his thigh, the flesh, and it was drilling like a drill machine. It was drilling the extreme pain, but he sat without shaking, lest he was afraid that his Guru Parashurama would wake up if he moved. He controlled the pain. All these are positive. Oh, what a great power he had. But later, it so happened that when the blood started oozing out of the wound, it touched the cheek of Parashurama, who had his face on the lap of Karna. All of a sudden, he wakes up with that warm blood, sees the horror, and we expect Parashurama to be very happy, but on the contrary, he gets very angry and tells Karna, "What is this? Who are you telling?" Karna would have told a lie in the beginning. He didn't want to show that he was a Sutaputra. He was not. Story. But he would have told. Parashurama had a very great hatred towards Kshatriyas of that time because Parashurama's father, Jamadagni, and mother Renuka Devi, brothers, and everybody were killed by a king called Haitya. Kartavirya was ruling the kingdom. So at that time, all the kings were very bad actually. So Parashurama had a hatred towards them. He vanquished the Kshatriya family, and he also vowed that all my knowledge and skills will be given only to a non-Kshatriya, except a Brahmin. I will not give to anybody. That was his rule. So Karna had told a lie to Parashurama that he was a Brahmin. Now, the minute Parashurama saw this, he came to know that Karna can be anyone other than a Brahmin. Because a Brahmana is not made for physical strength to bear that extreme pain. Even a small mosquito bites, oh my God, no, 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 I can't bear it. So we put repellents and all those things, we put odometers and all those things, even today. A Brahmin is not made to wage war and physical strength. Not that today Brahmins are not wrestlers and they are not, they're there. But generally, we're not talking about acceptance. So Karna had told a lie, and the skill of gaining anything cannot begin with a lie. Karmasu Kaushala cannot start with a lie or asatya. It has to be on satya. Whatever skills we may have, dear students, whatever skills we may have given to us by the gurus, it will be successful only when we work for it honestly and in a dedicated manner. It has to come from within. But if you base that, all the skill is based on a false or a very shaky foundation, that won't stay. That is why terrorists are killed, evil people are killed, sinful are killed, even though they might have the extreme intelligence and skills of various things. It is of no use. They base it on asatya. Therefore, the third level of competency should enhance to the fourth level with the basis of truth. Karna, if had spoken truth in front of his guru, probably the life would have changed. Shalya wouldn't have left him, and he would have been a winner. And there are many times we come to know that in Mahabharata, Arjuna escaped death not by the skills of only Arjuna, it was because of Krishna, the yoga. Probably Arjuna was more capable if, Karna was more capable than Arjuna if he had based the skill on truth. So, my dear students, now this level of truth which increases from intermediate to advanced tells us that our actions must be based on truth and not untruth. That is what takes us to the level 4, which is an advanced proficiency. Are the slides moving? Guru sir? Anupama madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, fine. So we come to the level 4 advanced proficiency. And yeah, before we go ahead, Anupama ma'am, how many minutes I have? Maybe another 15 minutes? 20 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
15
fine.
minutes. Yes.
Right.
Please go ahead.
Right.
Yes.
In 15 minutes, we are going to come to an end to this. So, my dear students and audience, please note this, that when we base the Kaushalya on Satya, we come to level 4 of our proficiency, of our Kaushalya, which is an advanced proficiency. From now onwards, it is a plus only, because we can perform the actions, whatever is associated or connected to this skill without any assistance. You will be very confident. It is just like after getting your DL, driving license, you are very confident. Whether you are in a highway, whether you are on an off-roading, you still are proficient to get the balance and do the job very well. The skill, just to know to drive a two-wheeler by giving the accelerator, holding the brake when somebody comes, that is not driving. It is skill. Chalaka is the word. Chalayati, that's the word in Sanskrit. They will use that chalaka even in Kannada. The one with the greater skill. So just balancing is the first skill. Sitting and working upon the knowledge, the basic, and then you come to the second novice. And the third one is also there, that you know how to actually balance and move, but that's not enough. Advanced proficiency should be there. That when someone comes suddenly, you're able to break and save first yourself and the other one also. You are right, you are perfect, you are good, you have all the skills of driving, but fine, you cannot expect that in the other person also. For various reasons. I was right, he came in the wrong direction, accident happened, still you are also at loss, maybe even greater. So therefore, advanced proficiency means the higher level of skill, which means you are capable of doing the work without anybody's help, by your own. And if you're in a school, you're in college, you're in an office, you're in an industry, people will come to you and you will be able to guide them. You don't have to run for a person to ask something. People will come to you if you have this level of proficiency. When anything difficult arises, you're capable of handling it. And you're capable of telling others also how to do a job. And you will explain, no, this is very difficult. This is how you have to do it. And you will help them. If you are in this advanced skill level, you will help them to gain this knowledge, to gain this level of proficiency. And now, who is the character to this? Who would be the character? which there are many characters, not just what I show now. There are many characters. If you are able to think of one character correctly, which has this level of advanced proficiency or Kaushala in Mahabharata, yes, I would go with this one. Can anyone guess what is the picture telling about? We see Krishna, we see Arjuna, there is some head flying over them. There's a Rishi. Can anyone just tell me what this story is about?
Jayadratha Vada.
Yes. Once again, I think it was Surya. And one more voice I heard, which was about to tell. Yeah, very good students. As the title very clearly says, it is the story of Jayadratha Vadha, Jayadratha's Mrityu. Probably all of you must be already knowing that. For those who don't know, I'll just briefly tell you the story. See, this Jayadratha was a son-in-law of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana's brother-in-law, 100 brothers and one daughter, Dushala. Dushala was a daughter. This daughter of Dhritarashtra, the only sister of all the 100 brothers, Duryodhana and others, was Dushala. She was married to Jayadratha. Now, Jayadratha was the ruler of Sindhu Desha. Sindhu Raja Jayadratha. Sindhu, today it is in Pakistan. Sindhu province. Sindhu Raja, where the great river Sindhu flows, river Indus. It originates in India, Himalaya, Manas Sarovara, goes to, ends in present Pakistan, present partitioned part of that great land, which is presently in Pakistan, the Sindh province. He was the ruler of that. Jayadratha was the ruler of that, obviously helping Duryodhana and team in the war. Now, it so happens that Dronacharya would have made a beautiful Chakravyuha to protect so Padma Vyuha, Garuda Vyuha before the Chakravyuha. And in one of the days, the beautiful Chakravyuha was also constructed to vanquish and overpower the Pandavas. And the only person other than Arjuna who knew about the entry towards this was Arjuna's son, a 16-year-old young boy, Abhimanyu. How did he learn? Arjuna had not told him directly. Arjuna was actually discussing this concept to his wife, Uttara, very casually. And somewhere the concept comes in about the waging the war. Uttara is Abhimanyu's wife, who will come later. So Arjuna was discussing with his wife, Subhadra. He was just discussing with Subhadra about the various concepts of entering a Chakravyuha. Abhimanyu was in the womb of his mother. He was not even born. Now, in science, we know that even a small embryo, after 3-4 months, when it develops, it can recognize the voice of the mother, father, and everything. It is a science-proven fact. So, he was 9 months old in the womb of the mother. Abhimanyu had heard Arjuna, his father, telling how to enter Chakravyuha. But when the concept of, they were just discussing casually, and Arjuna never mentioned how to come out of it. Something happened, so they had cut the conversation there. Later, Abhimanyu was born, and after that, the issue never came up. On this particular unfortunate day, Abhimanyu, since Arjuna was very far away fighting some tribal folk like some Saptakas and others, very far away from Chakravyuha, nobody could enter that. The other Pandavas and the army was in trouble. At that time, Abhimanyu volunteers. As I said, 16-year-old boy says, everyone, no, I have heard it from my father and I know how to enter. And somehow he beautifully enters the Chakravyuha. Concept is very beautiful. Since the time, we'll just know this. He enters, fights bravely. You also know that, unfortunately, he could not win the war. Even great Athirata Maharathas like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Shalya, they all could not overpower this young boy fighting bravely in all sides. And finally, Abhimanyu is killed in a very barbaric way, of course, by the backstabbing of Karna and others. Somehow. And on knowing this, Arjuna gets very wild. So he takes a concept that I will kill this. And now what happened was, just before, just after Abhimanyu entering the Chakravyuha, Bhima and others tried to enter, all the Pandavas just behind him, but they were blocked. Now that is the greatness of Chakravyuha. Unless you know how exactly to enter, you will not be able to enter. Since Abhimanyu knew he enters, but even people like Yudhishthira, Bhima and others could not enter, they were blocked by Jayadratha. Jayadratha was very strong in blocking him. And therefore, it so happened that the story continues, and unfortunately, nobody could go to the help of Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu is sacrificed in the war. And because of this, when Arjuna comes back, he laments, and all these things are discussed by the end of the day. Arjuna gets very wild about Jayadratha because first of all, it was Jayadratha who stopped the others from entering. If these people had entered, then probably Abhimanyu could have been saved. So he vows to kill Jayadratha by next sunrise, by next sunset. By the next day's sunset, before the sunset, he vows to kill Jayadratha. Now there is a very big uproar of happiness everywhere. In the Kauravas side, especially with Shakuni, because he says tomorrow is Arjuna's death confirmed. Arjuna's death confirmed. Because Shakuni knew one thing, that if anyone tried to behead and kill Jayadratha, whoever is responsible for getting the head of Jayadratha down, with whose arrow or sword Jayadratha's head is cut and then the head falls down, the person who has killed Jayadratha will also be instantly killed. This was the boon given by the father of Jayadratha. The father of, yes, Jayadratha. What was the name of the father of Jayadratha? Anyone? The right side of the picture where the arrow mark is showing appears like a rishi. He is the father of Jayadratha actually, sitting in the meditation posture. Does anyone give it a try? Yeah? It's a small piece. I'll continue the story. By end of it, try to tell me. So this great person is also the king. He was not a rishi. He had got that power from tapas. So he had told whoever kills and beheads you, that person will also die. The minute the head falls down, because of whom your head has fallen down, Jayadratha, that person will also die. So Shakuni knew this and he was very happy. All these skills were there with these people, but all the story moves at the end. Coming to this picture, Krishna tells Arjuna, you made the vow, but the concept, Krishna also knew this. You know that the minute you behead Jayadratha and the head falls down, touches the ground, you will be dying. Even if you don't kill him, you will commit Atmahuti because you are not able to kill him. Even if you kill him, still you will die. This is where the final thing comes out. The expertise of handling the thing. In spite of Arjuna knowing how to skillfully release the arrow, Krishna tells, be proficient, Arjuna. Use the Kaushalya in your yoga now, in this karma, so that it becomes a yoga. No doubt you have to behead him, but ensure the arrow beheads Jayadratha, as you can see in the picture, takes his head and goes to 100 yojanas from all the way to Hastinapur to Sindhu Pradesha, where his father was just meditating on the riverside, just securing for, praying for the well-being of his son. Let it go and fall on the lap of his father only. Let it go and fall on the father's lap. Anyone with the name? You realize? Anyone?
Vriddha Kshatra.
Vriddha Kshatra. Okay, Surya once again. Thank you. It is Vriddha Kshatra. Vriddha Kshatra, father of Jayadratha, who was seated there, 100 yojanas away from Hastinapura. Present day also we have Kurukshetra. All of you must have known. Near Delhi we have Kurukshetra. Sindh province, present Pakistan. 100 yojanas in that day, at that point to point, at that time of war. Now, let it go and fall. Now, the first time, today in warfare, the guided missile technology is very common. Sitting at one place, we press a button, the rocket launches with the nuclear warhead, goes and hits several thousands of kilometers away, hundreds and thousands of kilometers away, blasts where we want, we give them the location, it goes. It is a guided missile. The very first guided missile was probably in the time of Mahabharata was this one. The arrow beheads, arrow of Arjuna was so skillfully released, not just in a way of beheading, skillfully he released, the arrow stuck to the head, went off exactly to those 100 yojanas, just like the latitude and longitude, what we give, the coordinates, what we gave, where his father was seated, it fell on the lap. He was shocked all of a sudden to see the head of his son. He got up and immediately the head fell. Jayadratha also died. And the one who had given the boon to Jayadratha, his own father, he also died because head had fallen from his lap. And therefore the boon was whoever will be responsible to put your head down, because of whom your head touches the ground, that person will die. Now therefore, since immediately he rose up with a shock, father and son Jayadratha. concept here is how proficiently, with the guidance of Guru, we should move ahead even after knowing and securing all these things. That is why whatever is there in Mahabharata is there in everywhere in this universe. You can find it. If something is not in this Mahabharata, something is not told or discussed, nakutrachit, nakutrachit. There is nothing in this world. That is the level of proficiency what we need to have, and that will make us an expert on the final level. We come to the end of this. 2 minutes will complete. So the level 5 of proficiency, Yogah, Karmasu, Kaushalam. Karmasu, Kaushalam is expertise. You're an expert in the area. You can provide guidance. You can sort out the problems. You have answers to all the questions. You're like Krishna who protects everyone, because you have demonstrated a consistent excellency in whatever you are doing. The way you have painted, nobody else can. The way you can sing, nobody else can sing. The way you play an instrument, nobody else can. The way you do any job, nobody else other than you can do it. And that is expertise. The real Karmasu Kaushalam. And once we come to this level, then nothing can stop us. No one can stop us from success. Again, it is not an easy job. There's always expertise. Duryodhana was also an expert at Gada Yuddha. Bhima was expert at Gada Yuddha. But what makes the difference between Bhima and Duryodhana? Bhima adivat vartitavyam, natu Duryodhana adivat. Bhima had one great expertise skill greater than Duryodhana because he was on the right. And we may hear the story. Bhima cheated. He hid the Gadha maze below the waist to the thigh and killed Duryodhana. But the shloka is very clear. Utpapatasa mahan in Mahabharata, that while the maze was being used in the war by both Duryodhana and Bhimasena, Duryodhana, at a particular point, in order to crush the head of Bhima, he takes the mace, jumps and wants to hit the mace on the head of Bhima so that the head splits open. So Duryodhana jumps Utpapata Samahan in a very great manner. He jumps up onto the air in the ground in the manner of what we see in the graphics. All the heroes will do that. No, he really did that. And at that time, Duryodhana was in the same level of Bhima. Bhima wanted to hit him on the head once again. So he uses his mace in the same level. But since Duryodhana had raised up above the ground, his thigh gets hit. And that again because of a very beautiful story, which is a different story altogether, where Gandhari had made him unbreakable. The thigh was covered at that time. Therefore, the hit goes to the thigh. The hit of Bhima to the thigh of Duryodhana. When Duryodhana had jumped above the waist level, and that everywhere we have, even in Greek, we have Achilles' foot. Only that part was very weak. So every one of us will have this weak point, like the Duryodhana's thigh. The last level expertise, what Bhima had was to know that and use that at the right time without breaking the rules. He never used it when Duryodhana was on the ground. He never used the mace on the when Duryodhana's feet was on the ground. He never used it below the waist. As per the rules of Gada Yuddha, he had used it, but since because of this skill, he used that moment. Now in chess or in any game, you see the last ball in cricket, the last goal in football, how massively and creatively a person, a seeker, does that. That is expertise. He very well knows. In carom board, if you have seen a shot which is beautifully calculated, the striker goes from left, right, straight ahead, makes a diamond, and then cuts and goes and hits the pawn. Nobody else other than an expert can do that. Once we all reach this level of expertise and become like Bhimasena, who can stop us from having success? Success is definitely guaranteed. And why are we not successful as of now? One last slide will tell you, my dears. We are all actually not afraid of the unknown. What happens next? We are not afraid of that. But it is afraid of the known coming to an end. We all know that we are in a very safe house. We are in a very safe job. We are going to a very good school. We attend our classes, everything. All of a sudden, Corona comes on in the year 2020, in the month of March. Everything stops. So we were not afraid of what is going to happen to schools or learning or work or job or earning money, everything, because we were all stressed out. We all literally shivered. Many of them lost their precious lives itself looking at that, we were very afraid because first thing, whether we will survive, whether we will leave this, whether we will survive this pandemic. And then after we survive, there was a bigger fear for all of us. How will we survive? What happens after we survive? All these were with many of us, but very, very few of us who had very clear thought. First thing, yes, I will prepare myself physically in a healthy manner. I will develop the skills to stay healthy, take protection, and get as away as possible from this pandemic and survive. Number one. Two, something new is going to happen. See, when tsunami occurs, when earthquake occurs, Latur and Bhuj, 26 January 2000, the whole area was nil. There was nothing because of the massive earthquake. Massive earthquake. People, everything was barren. What happened next? Nobody knows. But yes, even today it is there. Latur, Usmanabad, Bhuj, everything is there. Now, when tsunami occurred, when Nagapattinam was washed out, half of Indonesia was washed out. Yes, again the big thing. What will happen next? Everything will be gone. When Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was shot, okay, India will not exist now. India will be gone because everything will be undone. Nehru became the prime minister. He was already the prime minister. He continued. He somehow turned the events. When Nehru died, oh my God, Nehru, the great prime minister, has died. What will happen? Nobody knew. Everyone were afraid. What will happen in future? What will happen in future? What will happen to India? No leader. But there came a small 3 feet great power, Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was also born on 2nd October. The war with Pakistan, war with China, how much, and the greatest war against famine was won by Lal Bahadur Shastri. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. The skill what he had. I will be taking 1 rupee as a salary, and that also will be donated. I will make sure that I will plow and sow the seeds in the Prime Minister's house. I will give up. I and my family will give up 1 meal. I will give up dinner. I will have only 1 meal. My family will have only 1 meal, said Lal Bahadur Shastri because of the great famine. And equal to a soldier, he brought the concept of an agricultural farmer, and the Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan came, and India came up, rose up. Whoever had dreamt it? After Shastri Ji's untimely and unnatural death, well, there was another strong lady, Indira Gandhi. After her death, so we have been seeing the people one after another, prime ministers after prime ministers. When we feel that nobody is there, what will happen? Maybe have Mr. Modi who is taking care of. What will happen after Modi? Nothing. The world will survive. There'll be another one. There'll be another. See, that is the concept of Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. Yes, we will never be afraid of the unknown. Everything is for the good. Everything happens for the good. Only thing is how we should plan for it. So not just the basic, not just the novice, not just the intermediate level, but we should reach the highest level of this yoga. Always look at the brighter side of the tunnel when the light is coming up. Take some time. The eyes will adjust to the bright light. You will see the things clearly. When you go from bright to darkness, again your eyes have to adjust. When you are from outside, when you enter inside, if it is dark, your eyes have to get some time, but you have the skill of doing that. Therefore, my dears, the pirates and people at sea, they used to have one eye covered with a blind. We wonder why is it always have that? It's a characteristic of a pirate or what? No, it was a skill beautifully used. One eye was always in that. So the minute the person entered into the, nowadays we have lights and other things. I'm talking about those days. So when they entered the bottom of the ship, the cabin, they could use the other eye. Immediately they could see the people, and then the eyes would be normal. So all these things are, man has been finding the skills in everything. Only difference, all of us are skilled. How far we realize that is the first thing. And from then the next thing is select your level. Where are we now? Am I a basic? Am I at the advanced? Am I intermediate? Or am I an expert? Honestly know that once you do it honestly, if you are in various other levels, accept an expert level, come to that expert level. And if you are really, honestly, you are proved to be an expert, please retain that. That's the final word. Climbing the mountain is very high. Once we climb the peak, we are on the peak. The only other way is to go down. There is no other way up. We have already. So what is the next important base? So how long we can stay? Actually, we can't. If you are on the peak of Mount Everest, in spite of all that heavy thing, hardly 3-4 minutes, you can see the mountaineers vlogs. They will tell you very clearly lack of oxygen, so many things. Most importantly, it's surviving. You have to come down and survive. Then only that is an achievement. So staying on the top is what is matters. Therefore, reaching up, most of us have done. Staying there is what is the expert level of skill. And once we do that, we are the successful people. That is how we can tell everyone that because of the great skill, we are today what we are and we are successful. It never brings us to failure. It will always lead to success. That is why Krishna, from this level of the Dina to the Adina level was being taken. Sthitosmi gata sandeha karishyata vachanantara. That is why Sanjaya says in the last shloka, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shrihi Vijayaha. Where there is Krishna in the form of Yogacharya, where there is Arjuna in the form of proficiency, Krishna is diligence, Arjuna is proficiency, Narayana. Where these two are, Tatra Shrihi Vijayaha Dhruvaniti Matadam. Very sure, Dhruvam, that is gunshot sure, there lies victory and prosperity. Sri, prosperity, luxury, comfort, Sri. Vijaya, victory. So Krishna and Arjuna symbolizes this diligence. You get yoga only when you have proficiency or excellence. Very fine, very vast concept. But very luckily, I got this opportunity to be with you in this webinar with one and all, right from kids to the parents and the audiences and all the learned members over that. I think I've shared a very minimal amount of birds view. I have not even given a birds view, complete birds view. A very minimal amount of birds view has been given, and just a few thoughts. Not that you don't know all these things. Just I shared a few things in this happy morning, in these afternoons, about skill, because I somewhere had this yoga Karmasu Kaushalam embedded by my gurus right from the beginning. And sharing about this thought to anyone is always a pleasure from my side. And I really thank once again everyone at Soundarya, the management, the staff, and in particular to Anupama Patel Madam, and everyone at Soundarya for securing this. The other day when I had been to the campus, it was very calm, very serene, and I saw students playing, skating, playing outdoor games like throw ball. A very happy scenario, and it's a very dreams institution for anyone to make their careers. So even after meeting all the people, I also met the principal ma'am, very kind to listen to all this. Had a small TED talk with the same thing, and they were very kind enough to lead me to the CEO sir, who was very fine, young, energetic. If I'm right, I think Kirtan Kumar sir, his name. So I was very happy to meet him with such a nice young age by the guidance of the great people. It's a very fine day. So I thought that that day's yoga, the karma was indeed a yoga. And after a very short or a brief interaction, they were able to identify, and then CEO said, let's go ahead with this program. And it was jiffy that it happened. And yes, thank you, sir, madam, everyone for giving this opportunity. I don't know how much I was of use to all of you. But well, if anyone has got even a little bit of idea about Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam, if you have understood something, if you have liked something, I would consider this as my yoga today, and giving this fine, happiest moment of one's life, going towards the expertise level of skill. This opportunity will be always cherished by me. So with these words and with words of thanking, I presume I should end this meet. So, Dhanyavada, Sarvebhyo.
Thank you so much, Yogesh sir. We would like to take questions from the audience, if any.
Yes.
You can also post the questions in the chat box provided. Any questions from the audience?
I would like to ask sir one question.
Please go ahead, sir.
What type of character Mahabharata, like Bhishma, what type of level will he come in? What can we learn from him in the skill level?
I think it is Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Every character in Mahabharata teaches us one or the other point. Talking about Bhishma, as per your query, he definitely is an expert, and there is no doubt about it. The level of skill of Bhishma Acharya is of the expertise level, no doubt, because the way in which he has conducted himself right from the beginning as a true son, as a true, worthy, inspiring, and energetic Shakti of the whole Kaurava family, Hastinapura family, till the end, because of which his father had given the Ichamarana Shakti, he used it very well. And it is because of him that we have got great things like Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra and others. Anushasanika Parva gives a very heroic and a very fine skilled yoga of Bhishmacharya. He also has given us the yoga Anushasana, and definitely he is of the skilled one and an expert in this yoga shastra. That would be enough for this small time. Details later on, I think we can discuss.
Any other questions? Thank you. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude to Speaker of the Day, Mr. Yogesh N R, for gracing the event. It was a pleasure to attend the webinar and acquire an important knowledge on the scripts of Bhagavad Gita, mainly on the karma, wisdom, proficiency required to perform the skilled actions, which are very much required for our own evolution and positive life. Thank you all once again. Once again, I thank Yogesh sir. Thank you.
Recording